The band is fully together. Jeremy Otto has a new haircut. All is right with the world. All right. Great day for everyone, unless your name is Spencer Torkelson. So we're just going to jump right in. I'm not surprised by it. I'm also not going to overreact to it. I think I've just viewed him as a guy that wasn't going to be a part of the core. You know, I had high hopes preseason that spring training didn't matter. And I'm like, all right, well, if he can provide the 30 home run power, and I'll work around it. But quickly, I think we saw that wasn't the case. And by late April, it's like, all right, I'm kind of done. Mm-hmm. Now we're in June. When they're pinch hitting Jake Rogers and not you, and you're sitting, next to the manager, the problem for Tork is the following. And Rico, I think, is spot on with his take, which we'll get to in a second. It's just simple. If you're not hitting, you're useless because he's a abhorrent defensive player. Mm-hmm. He's terrible. So you have no speed, no defense, no average, and no power. We're done here. I look at the bigger picture, which is the Tigers have selected number one twice in the last 6-7 years. Both of them stink. Torkelson stinks, and for any of these Mize defenders, at best, he's a number 3 in this league. At best. He can't miss baseball bats.
That's being very generous, too.
Oh, but he's been out for 2 years. Yes, exactly why he stinks. And I don't think he's going to magically become a swinging strike guy. He doesn't have the stuff. And hell, this weekend, he couldn't locate anything that wasn't a fastball. But the point is the Torkelson thing. And do you believe it's the end? And what does this really do for the rebuild? I mean, Rico, your take I don't think is wrong.
Mike, and my take is simply this. I came in and asked David, was I being too negative? But is this the last time we're going to see Spencer Torkelson in a Tigers jersey? He's being shipped down to Toledo. He's not the greatest fielder. He can't hit a fastball. That's like the basic thing that you need in major leagues. He's not going down because he can't hit a slider, can't hit a curveball. That's difficult to do. He's not getting around on fastballs. So if you can't hit a major league fastball, going down to the minors, you're not going to get the same type of pitches thrown to you there. So did you really improve? Did you really get better? It just makes me wonder that you said this a while ago, and I was just like, nah, you got to give some time. But when the reality kicked in that he went down, I asked myself, is this the last time we will see Spencer as a Tiger? Because he's had it's you can't hit a fastball, man, and you're not going to get major league pitching in AAA. That's not going to happen. So you can't really get better. You can work on your fielding. You can maybe work on hitting off-speed pitches. But where are you going to see the major league fastball in Toledo? You're not.
No. I mean, look, it's a timing issue, clearly. He hasn't had his timing all year. He was horrible in spring. He was horrible all year. I don't know. And again, he made adjustments last year. He turned into an extreme pull hitter to tap into some of that power. None of that's available now. I'm not going to say it's the last. No, look, man, this sport is weird. It is.
It is. And that's
I said to you off air, so I'll share it with the listeners. I mean, the cautionary tale of why you can't give up on Tork is Max Scherzer. You know, you traded for him from the Diamondbacks, and he was a reliever, and you brought him here to start, and they sent him down to Toledo to retool, and the rest is history. It changed his life. It changed the trajectory of the Tigers. He got it together, became one of the game's dominant starters. I need to see it to believe it. And also, Rico, here's the other problem. They don't have anybody to play first base. I mean, think about it. Gio Urshela is going to play first base.
Yeah, they got like a platoon of like 4 or 5 players.
Yeah, don't get me started. I know. A.J. Hinch needs every roster spot so we can trot out 80 different lineups, all of which suck. But fine. But they don't have anybody in the pipeline. It's not like they have some big-time first baseman I could call up and write Tork off as a loss. I think the fairest way for me to say it is he'll never live up to being 1-1. He's never – I would be shocked if he turned into an all-star caliber player. Right now, I'm just wondering, can he be a part of my franchise?
Yeah. Could he just be a major league player?
A league average guy. I got a hard time with it.
Because right now, I mean, Mike, for me, the bar is, can you be a part of the core group of players? And now I'm sitting here wondering, maybe there was a reason why Scott Harris didn't mention his name. Because he knew.
Yeah. You know, Cookie's made an interesting point this morning. And again, he was a no-brainer 1-1. Usually the 1-1s are, unless you're trying to underslot, save money, do a Pittsburgh Pirates. But he was a no bleep 1-1. He was a college bat. But Cookie's phrased it in a way I thought was interesting. He was in the era of COVID, and realistically, he only had one great year at ASU. The next year got cut short with the pandemic, and then you had no minor league system. Now, I'm not making an excuse. I'm offering maybe a reason why it didn't work, or he just wasn't that good in the first place. That's the bottom line. Go look at the last 25 years of number one overall picks in the MLB. Or how about this, 24? I'll bet you it's 12 ended up being stars and 12 ended up being awful. And the Tigers have done it twice, and they didn't get one of them to be good. Which is why, look, on days like today when Torkelson gets sent down, I do revert back to my opinion on Torkelson and Flaherty. I really don't know how you could justify not moving these guys. I mean, the team they are who they are. Win 3 of 4, lose 3 of 4. Split of 2, split of 4, lose 3 of 4.
Skubal and Flaherty.
Yeah, Skubal and Flaherty.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's one of these things where I'm with Rico on this, guys. You need to infuse this core with a lot of help. I mean, I'm happy Justin Henry Malloy's coming up. The problem for him, he's got great plate discipline, but he's really going to struggle with off-speed stuff. If you look at any scouting reports, if it's off-speed and it's in the zone, he ain't hitting it.
Right.
That's a real problem because MLB pitchers, they're not going to offer you a fastball.
Well, and we had a hypothetical conversation a few weeks ago, but now it looks like it can come to fruition where the Orioles need some arms.
Oh, yeah. Tyler Wells out for the year. John Means out for the year.
You can send one of your guys there, and depending on which one, you could bring in 2-3 people who could actually be a part of your core. Because right now, a lot of your core is in Toledo.
That's true.
Think about it.
No, it's true. I'm just of the belief, all right, look, Carpenter's hurt now. Canna's battling some injuries. You sent Tork down. You sent Meadows down. All right, let's take a look at Justin Henry Malloy. I'd like to bring up Jace Young next. Why? Because I don't care anymore. I mean, because it's clear where this is headed. Now, if between now and July 15th they catch fire, what did I say to you? We can then change the conversation. But yeah, I'd love to get people's thoughts on it. You know, what is your panic with Tork? Do you believe at all he can get right? And look, I think the thing that leads me towards that Skubal conclusion I've made, you had the number one pick twice, and I don't think either guy's ever going to be a headliner. Not Tork and not Mize. You know, if Mize ends up being your number 4, is that what you drafted 1-1? Absolutely not.
Right.
He might be an innings eater, but he can't miss bats. He's never missed bats before the injury or after. And you're not going to win in today's game that way. You're not. I mean, yesterday he survived. They were hammering him. I mean, even the outs were missiles.
Yeah.
You're not going to live that way.
Leads me to wonder at some point, do you just kind of maybe try him? Like he's going to be the opposite of Scherzer. Maybe he belongs in the pen.
Problem is, guys in the pen got to throw gas. They got to strike guys out. You can't. I don't know of a place he could go. Look, at best, I'm telling you.
Middle reliever?
No, if it gets to that, forget it. No, I think he's just a back-end rotational guy, and I'll never be mad about it, but he's never going to be the leader of a rotation.
No.
I mean, if you put him next to a Skubal or a Reese Olson or a Jack Flaherty, come on now. One of these things is not like the other.
Well, I think that you can get a nice little haul for Skubal, especially now. Baltimore's desperate. Baltimore wants to win. They're in a go for it now mode. Yeah, you could pretty much say, and we want this person, and we want this, and we want this, and we want to order a pancakes too.
No, the big takeaway I have from Tork going down is it just shows you how far you got to go. I think it kills the organization when you draft first overall and a guy doesn't pan out. You do it twice. That's problematic. And realistically, if the core right now is Riley Green, and if you want to count Cole Keith because of the hot May, I'm fine with that. But that's it. I don't see anything else.
See, but you know what it shows me? It shows me that they should have gone out in the offseason and grab the bat.
How dare you?
Someone that can play first base. Because I know I was very early on saying he was a bust, and a lot of that was just me just being me, okay? He was not good his first couple years in my mind, and it was too early to call him a bust. But I just felt deep down inside that he wasn't going to be what we thought he could be, which was what a 1-and-1 should be. That guy that leads your lineup, that, leads you to winning. I never saw that with him. So I knew in the offseason we have to get someone, a professional bat out here that's a vet that can play first base, that can give him a break a little bit, that can show him how to hit.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. So that's what it shows me, that they made a mistake here.
Yeah, Scott Harris, we don't want to block the young guys. Yeah, maybe you should have blocked them because your core wears mud hinge jerseys. That's just the reality of the fact. That tells me, kind of adding to the dominoes, we're a long way away from having this team spend to bring in free agents and trades. Because remember, they said they wanted to get the core right first. Your core, it ain't even close to being right. It ain't close to being correct.
No, and I think the thing that's very concerning for me, and maybe I'm a fool. I was hopeful they would win 85 games this year. It's still possible.
Yeah.
But they were totally healthy the first couple months. Everybody sits here in their myopic, insulated world, and it's like if you were the Texas Rangers who are without DeGrom and without Scherzer and they were without Eovaldi, they're without 3 or 4 everyday bats in their lineup, what would it look like? But you don't pay attention to that. You just get your jollies off of being 500. And it's like, all right, well, guess what? The injuries are coming for you. And now Carpenter's hurt. And Canna's battling some stuff. Well, what happens if you lose the ability every 3 out of 5 days to roll out damn near Cy Young caliber arms? Skubal, Flaherty, Olsen. You start to look at this and go, wow.
So you're telling me there's a reason why Texas has the same record as the Tigers, right?
Yeah, I mean, devastated by injury. Yeah, devastated by injury and a little bit of a World Series hangover, no question. But yeah, I mean, they're down huge pieces, man. And it's like, I still look at this Tiger lineup and I'm going, why is Javi being allowed to hit in big situations? Or why is my pinch hitter Jake Rogers?
Here's what angers me.
Not feasible.
Mike, here's what angers me, because when the answer is, well, you don't have anybody else, then that's a problem on management because you chose to put this lineup together. Yeah. You chose to put this team, this bench together. The answer should never be, well, we don't have anybody else to put in their place. It should be, you know what? Next man up. This guy's not getting it done. We're going to give this guy a try because maybe you're sitting on somebody. But it just bothers me that that's always the answer. Like, well, why is this guy playing? Oh, who else we got to play?
Yeah, and look, I think Justin Henry Malloy will play corner outfield. I think there's days he'll DH. I'm hopeful. It'd be nice if he's surprised. But again, when you have a guy that's not a top 100 prospect without the pedigree, you can be excited, but you do have to temper it. It's very hard for these off-the-radar guys to end up turning into stars. And you look, you can criticize me and go, he doesn't need to be a star. And we can have a conversation because my argument is he does. You need stars. You need cornerstone players because I just got done listening to your president of baseball operations tell me we're not ready to spend until the core is set. Well, if your core doesn't feature a Gunnar Henderson, if your core doesn't feature a Bobby Witt Jr., if your core doesn't, well, minus an ACL, Ronald Acuna, you need that guy or guys, plural. Mm-hmm. I don't see that here. Like Riley Green is fine enough. Am I ready to tell you Riley Green is on that plane? No way.
Mike, I mean, just to oversimplify what you're saying, I like to go, you need a jersey guy. Who's the guy that you want to go and buy the jersey because you know they're going to be here for a long time? To quote the old thing, who's your Tiger that you know this guy is going to be good for some years, so that's going to be my guy?
I don't know.
I don't think you have them.
248-539-9797. We're going to get with the people. We'll get some ticket text rolling as well. Tork sent down. What faith do you have that he comes back up a different person? Mine is low. It's not non-existent, but it's low.